Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be about my favorite YA romance novels. So if you guys have been watching my videos for the last couple months to a year, all my book reviews have been horror related. And that's because horror is one of my favorite genres, but it's also been the genre that I've been the most intrigued with lately. However, one of my favorite genres is romance. I love a good romance book. I have always been interested in romance, especially YAs. I love YAs. I know they get crapped on all the time for being like not very good and cliche and blah, blah. I don't care. I love YAs. I think they're so much fun. So I thought today would be a fun video if I just told you guys some of my favorite YA novels, like romance novels. I have a ton more YA novels that I love. These are just the ones that I can remember loving the most and the ones that I have read the most. So yeah, they're in no particular order except for the very last one that I will mention is my absolute favorite, but all the others are just kind of in there somehow. So the first two I want to talk about are going to be a little bit different than the other books, and that's because they deal with abusive relationships. And now I think it's important to include these because it's still in the romance category for a reason. So I really think it's cool that the YA genre decided to, put some books out there with abuse in them. So one of the books is Deb Caletti Stay, which I really enjoy, and then the second one is Dreamland by Sarah Dessen. Now Sarah Dessen, excuse me car, Sarah Dessen is going to pop up a lot in here along with another author because I just enjoyed their style of writing and their books the most in the YA genre, but just for now this is the one. So let's talk about Stay by Deb Caletti. It says, Claire's relationship with Christian is intense from the start and like nothing she's ever experienced before, but what starts as devotion quickly becomes obsession, and it's almost too late before Claire realizes how far gone Christian is and what he's willing to do to make her stay. Now Clara has left the city and Christian behind. No one back home knows where she is, but she still struggles to shake off her fear. She knows Christian won't let her go that easily, and no matter how far she runs, it may not be far enough. And then the Dreamland book says, ever since she started going out with Rogerson Biscoe, Caitlin seems to have fallen into a semi-conscious dreamland where nothing is quite real. Rogerson is different from anyone Caitlin has ever known. He's magnetic, he's compelling, he's dangerous. Being with him makes Caitlin forget about everything else, her missing sister, her withdrawn mother, her lackluster life. But what happens when being with Rogerson becomes a larger problem than being without him? I think these two are just really good viewpoints of abuse, and they're both, a little different, which I like. One's running away and one's like staying in it basically. So I do highly recommend this. If you are triggered or don't like abusive situations, I wouldn't read this. These just aren't for you, but I do find them really good for that kind of genre part of romance. So if you do like, that kind of situations in romance, I think those are two really good books. Next is a Susane Colasanti book, and this is Take Me There. And this one says, Rhiannon is devastated after the breakup with her boyfriend and wants him back. But love comes easy for Nicole. Her ex is still in the picture, but she has a new crush. Then there's James, hopelessly in love with Rhiannon, who doesn't see that their friendship can be more. Just when things couldn't get more complicated, the school's resident mean girl decides to ruin everyone's life. James, Nicole, and Rhiannon won't let this slide, but will taking down the mean girl bring these friends what they want? I love books that have love triangles in them. I think love triangles are so funny, and I love when there's another mean girl in their school and it all gets interwoven and crazy and there's so much drama, just because this is not how my high school was at all. This is not real life for me. This is just so obviously fiction, which is why I enjoy it, because I just love books like this. I think they're funny and I like the drama involved in love triangles, so I do think this one's a really good book. Next is another Susane Colasanti book, and this is When It Happens. And this one says, Seniors in high school, Sarah and Toby couldn't be more different. She wants to get into her first choice college. He wants to win Battle of the Bands. Sarah's other goal is to find true love, so when popular Dave asks her out, she's thrilled. But Toby always creeps into her thoughts. Lucky for Sarah, one of Toby's goals is also to make her fall in love with him. Told in alternating points of view, Sarah and Toby's real connection will have everyone rooting for them from the minute they meet. I think books like this are so cool, like when, I guess cool is the weird word. I think books like these are so funny when like a girl and the boy, or whatever, the couple, come from different backgrounds, like one's an intellect and one's like a rocker, or one's rich, one's poor, and then they like collide and they realize that they're perfect for each other even though they come from so crazy backgrounds. Like, I just love stuff like that. I think it's really, really funny, and I do like this one just a little bit more than the last one by Susane Colasanti, but I think they're both really, really good books. Next is Keeping the Moon by Sarah Dessen. I love Sarah Dessen. She is one of my favorite YA novelists ever. She's one of my favorite YA authors ever. I don't know, I just really love her stories the most, and this book used to be my absolute favorite until I read the one that I will talk about later in the video that's my absolute favorite. But this one is so cute. I love this one so much. But it says, 15-year-old Coley has never fit in. First, it was because she was fat. Then after she lost the weight, it was because of a reputation that she didn't deserve. So when she's sent to stay with her eccentric Aunt Mira for the summer, Coley doesn't expect too much. After all, why would anyone in Colby, North Carolina want to bother with her when no one back home does? But Colby turns out to be a nice surprise for Coley. Almost without trying, she lands herself a job at the Last Chance Bar and Grill. There she meets fellow waitresses Morgan and Isabel, two best friends who teach her what friendship is all about and help her learn to appreciate who she really is. So I think this one's so cute because her aunt, she's really funny. She like starts and stops all these projects. So like all throughout the house there will be these half-done projects she does. She'll like start it and then stop and start something else and stop and start something else. So she's really funny, and that's why they call her like eccentric. And then I really like Coley. I don't know, she's just like a cool character. I also really like her name, Coley. I just think it's like really unique. But she, I don't know, she was expecting not to love the summer that she has in Colby, and she ends up loving it. She ends up finding out so much about herself, which I love. That's just like such a reoccurring thing in Sarah Dessen's book, is like finding your true self, which I really, really like. But I do love this book. It's definitely one of my favorite Sarah Dessen books. Next is Something Like Fate by Susane Colasanti. So this is my absolute favorite Susane Colasanti book. I think it's so funny. One, can we talk about this? Look at that. Look at that cover. Drama. I'm just saying. Also, the one character's name is Aaron, which, I mean, duh, my name. I had to read it. So this one says, Lonnie and Aaron are lifelong best friends and total opposites. Lonnie's a down-to-earth Taurus, Aaron's a fiery Leo. Lonnie likes to do her own thing. Aaron prefers an entourage. They've always had wildly different tastes, from pizza toppings to guys. That is until Aaron starts dating Jason. From the minute Lonnie meets Jason, she can't deny the amazing connection she feels with him. It's like they've known each other their whole lives. She's not sure if he feels it too, but even if he does, he's off limits. Lonnie's determined to ignore her feelings for Jason, no matter how powerful they are, rather than hurt her best friend. Then Aaron goes away for the summer, and Jason seems to appear everywhere Lonnie turns. How long can she keep running from the guy who just might be the love of her life? So obviously, best friends, total opposites. They have completely different personalities, but they end up liking the same guy. Ugh, sounds bad, right? So, I don't know. There's something about stories like this, because when I read this when I was like 15, 16, I'm pretty sure I viewed the situation so much different than I do like now, although I haven't read it in a really long time. But I feel like if I read it now, being a 24-year-old, I would have a completely different like viewpoint on the whole situation and the characters itself. And that's why I like YA. Like, everyone thinks, well, you have to be this age to read YA, or you have to be this age to read blah blah blah. No, you don't. You can be whatever age you want. You can read whatever books you want. I mean, unless they're like wildly inappropriate for your age, like if you're like 10 and reading like some really like sketchbook. But I mean, you know, normally books, they're for everyone. You don't have to like be restrained to a certain genre because people make you feel that way. I love YA, and I know some people don't, but I think they're fun, and who cares if you're having fun, you know? And you're not hurting anyone, so what's the point? But I just feel like with YA, you can read them at different points in your life, and you'll have totally different viewpoints on the like entire storyline, characters, and everything. But I just thought this book is so fun because it's like dramatic, and I love the drama, obviously. Only in books. I don't like real life drama, just book drama. Next is another Sarah Dessen book, and this is Just Listen. This is again one of my favorite books by her. I know I keep saying that, but like I can't help it. All of her books are like my favorite books, but this one's really good. And this one says, Annabelle Green is the girl who has everything. At least that's what she portrays in her modeling shoots. But Annabelle's life is far from perfect. Her friendship with Sophie ended bitterly, and her older sister's eating disorder is weighing down the entire family. Isolated and ostracized at school and at home, Annabelle retreats into silent acceptance. Then she meets Owen, intense, music-obsessed, and determined to always tell the truth. And with his guidance, Annabelle learns to just listen to herself and gains the courage to speak honestly. But will she be able to tell everyone what really happened the night she and Sophie stopped being friends? One of the things I love about Sarah Dessen is every character is going through some internal struggle, a death, you know, like friendships, family, like, you know, they're all just, there's something there that they're internally struggling with that they just can't overcome. And then I know it's kind of, you know, cliche, they meet a boy and the boy helps them and blah, 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 blah. But like, I love the message that like, you can overcome things and like, everything's okay and like, it'll all like work out in itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a positive, uplifting kind of message. And yes, it's fiction and yes, it's not real, but like, there's something about reading something like that and feeling good after it. And that's just what Sarah Dessen's books do for me. They make me feel good. They make me feel happy. They make me feel positive. And that's what this book does. It's just it's so emotional, but like in like a good way at the end. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you sad, but like it makes you like happy sad, if that makes sense. Anyways, I really, really, really like this book. But again, I love Sarah Dessen, so what's new? Next is Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles. This book, funnily enough, I found walking through Barnes & Nobles in high school, like randomly. I just picked it up and was like, oh, sounds like something I'd read. I fell in love with this book. It is so good. It's very Romeo and Juliet-esque, but like modern day, which I love. And this is actually a 3-part book. Like there's there's 3 books to like this series. It's all 3 brothers and each story is different, but it has to do with like the same family. But I think this one's the best. So this says, at Fairfield High School on the outskirts of Chicago, everyone knows that Southsiders and Northsiders aren't exactly compatible elements. So when head cheerleader Brittany Ellis and gang member Alex Fuentes are forced to be lab partners in chemistry class, the results are bound to be explosive. But neither teen is prepared for the most surprising chemical reaction of all, love. Can they break through the stereotypes and misconceptions that threaten to keep them apart? Like, there's just something about the whole like love being like not able to like happen that makes you like, oh, like Romeo and Juliet, you know? It's like not a very good story, but you're kind of like, oh. But this story, so Brittany's a cheerleader and Alex is a gang member, and obviously they don't, their groups don't mesh, you know, and they become lab partners, and his friends all joke that he can't get her to like sleep with him or kiss him or date him or fall in love with him. I don't really remember. It's one of those things. And he's like, well, I'm hot. She'll do anything I want, like blah, 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 blah. And they end up realizing that they don't really know each other as well as they think they did. Like, she's rich, yes, and she's popular, but she has a lot going on in the background that not a lot of people know about. And yeah, he's in a gang, and yeah, he's poor, but he also has a lot of stuff going on that people don't know about. And so, like, they get to know each other, and then they, like, fall in love. But, like, their relationship it's not supposed to be possible. He's in a gang, their parents don't approve, there's a bunch of stereotypes, like, so it's just fun to watch it like overcome that all. And it's a really, really good book. That's all I have to say. Like, if you like cheese, which all of these are cheesy. I don't care. I love cheesy books. But if you like cheesiness like that, but also like a little bit of seriousness, I think it's really good. I like it a lot. I really, really, really recommend it. It's so good. Last is my favorite book of all time by Sarah Dessen and my favorite YA romance of all time. I don't think anything will ever replace this book. It is just my favorite. I don't know why. I just love it so much. I've read it about 10 times because I just can't get over how much I love it. And it's The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. I don't know what it is about this book. I just love it so much. So let's read the back. It says, a long hot summer, that's what 16-year-old Macy Queen has to look forward to. Her boyfriend Jason is going away to brain camp. She's stuck with a dull as dishwater job at the library, and all her free time promises to be spent studying for the SATs or grieving silently with her mother over her father's death. But everything changes when Macy is corralled into helping out at one of her mother's open house events, and she meets the Chaotic Wish catering crew. Before long, Macy ditches her library job and joins up with the Wish gang. Big-hearted Delia, quiet, introspective Monica, and fun-loving, fashion-conscious Christy. But best of all, there's Wes, artistic, insightful, and understanding Wes, who gets Macy to look at life in a whole new way. So, I love Macy. She's one of my favorite Sarah Dessen characters. I don't really know why. I just really like her personality the best. She's just this girl who's grieving over her father. Her father's dead. She's obviously heartbroken. She's trying to be this perfect student, this perfect daughter. She has like a perfect boyfriend, and she's just kind of living, you know? She's not actually living. She's just like being alive, you know, if that makes sense. And she starts meeting these people from the catering crew when she helps out one time with her mom's event. She meets them and they're just so chaotic. Like, they don't have everything planned. They're all over the place. They're crazy and loud, and she's not like that, and that makes her drawn to them, and they end up becoming great people in her life, even if her mom doesn't really like them at first, which is really annoying, but it's fine. And I don't know, it's just, I love their story and how Wes helps her figure out what she wants in life and how to help with her dad, and I don't know, it's just, it's really good. It's so cheesy, I know. If you clicked on this video and didn't expect me to talk about cheesy books, you clicked on the wrong video, because all of these are cheesy in their own way and I love them all. Okay? If you're looking at YA book videos, then you're supposed to be seeing cheese, because I don't know a lot of YA that doesn't give you some cheese. So if you do, let me know, because I might check them out, because I think that cheese is good, but maybe some cheese is too much for people. But those are all my books. I think I did 9 of them. These are not all the YA books I've ever read. I have so many more downstairs in boxes and on my bookshelves. But these are just the ones that I wanted to talk about today in the video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know, because I want to do more videos like this with different types of books. Like, my favorite book series is my favorite dystopian books, my favorite vampire books, you know, that kind of thing. Because I've read so many books, guys. I've read so many books, and I love so many books. So I would love to do more videos like this where I'm not just like reviewing them, I'm just kind of talking about my favorites. So let me know if you guys like this type of video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!